Indonesia and Malaysia are often held up as sort of, I guess, models, if you want to use that word, of tolerance and pluralism and democracy. I mean, certainly Indonesia. And Indonesia is the largest Muslim democracy. But what's interesting there is the role of Islam in public life has become more normalized. So in conservative regions in both of those countries, you do actually see some experimentation with Sharia ordinances on the local level. And you might say, oh, that's kind of weird. So Indonesia's democratic, but it also has Sharia ordinances in some parts of the country, and more than in many countries in the Middle East, actually. So more than, say, Egypt, Tunisia, Turkey, Morocco, Jordan. So that seems counterintuitive. But if a country is democratic and leaders are democratically elected, it means they have to be more responsive to popular sentiment. And where popular sentiment is conservative, then leaders have to meet the median voter halfway. And what's really interesting is that this isn't just coming from Islamist parties, even so-called secular parties, and in both of those countries, ostensibly secular parties are ruling. You see them very comfortable using the language of religion. You see them talking about the implementation of Islamic law. You hear them talking about, social and moral issues and, should we restrict alcohol consumption? Should people to get a marriage certificate in a certain area, should they kind of demonstrate some kind of religious proficiency or literacy? Should people wear the headscarf if they're civil servants? So people are debating those issues, and it's not just Islamists who are talking about these things. And you might say, well, why would a secular party engage in these kinds of discussions and not just dismiss them out of hand? And again, it goes back to, hey, in countries that are decentralized, and both Malaysia and Indonesia have significant levels of decentralization, if you want to win an election in a conservative area, you gotta play the game, even if you don't fully believe it yourself.
That doesn't sound like it's restricted to Asia. Everyone plays to the base when they need to, it looks like.
Exactly. So let's say here in the US, if 80% of Americans believed in Christianity playing a larger role, and that would affect issues like gay rights or the teaching of evolution. And in some states, you do actually have that tension where local legislatures or state politicians have pushed back against LGBT rights, or they don't want evolution to be taught in schools. There are debates about school prayer. So obviously those are different debates than the ones that are being had in Asia or the Middle East. But it is this same kind of idea that, hey, in Mississippi, there's going to be a little bit of a different conversation because it's a state that's more socially and morally conservative, or so we're told.